Planning Commission member Arun Maira has called for reforms in the public sector enterprises. In an exclusive interview to our correspondent Sidhant Sibal, Arun Maira said that there is possibility of better growth in the country.
I'm with the member Planning Commission, Arun Maira. So first thing, so you talked about the reforms in the public sector. What kind of reforms you were talking about?
I was talking about two broad sets of reforms in the public sector undertakings. One of them are to do with the management, the governance and management of the undertakings themselves. The public sector undertakings are, if I can use the word, suffering from the need to make more efficient the way their managements are allowed to run. The selection of personnel, of chief executives, doesn't happen on time in public sector undertakings. They are also subject, as they should be, I suppose, towards more scrutiny from the vigilance organization. But the process of that scrutiny and the quick clearance of any matters that are brought up needs to be improved. Otherwise, they just get hamstrung by the delays in those processes too. And third, with regard to management, is the need for ministries to which the public sector undertakings are attached to learn good professional management. I mean, the ministries are the promoters, let's say, because the government money is through that ministry, and Steel Authority of India through the Steel Ministry, for example, and the petroleum companies from the Petroleum Ministry. So just like in the private sector, I mean, the promoter has money in the company but has professional management, and the professional management is accountable and must run the place. And the promoter cannot send her nephews and nieces कि हर दिन जाके पूछो कि क्या कर रहे हैं. So when you get junior level officers of ministries who start inquiring into and giving instructions to officers within the public sector undertakings, including the chief executive, that's not good professional management. The other set of reforms applies to not just the public sector undertakings but also to our private sector undertakings, which is this responsibility to the environment and responsibility to the people and the communities. We are unfortunately going down the path of saying if you spend a little bit of money, 2% of your profit, you have just discharged your responsibilities. But actually, the responsibility is to ensure that the processes that you use for production, the products that you produce, do good to the environment and to the people and no harm. So the national voluntary guidelines, which have been developed by the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, with a lot of participation of private and public industry together, which are also being mentioned by the ministry, is the way for genuine business responsibility to be exercised. And I feel the public sector undertakings should take a lead in that.
So you're saying that CSR as an idea is flawed one?
CSR as a term, corporate social responsibility, cannot be a flaw, but the way it's being executed, hardwired into a 2% of your profit you have to spend on this thing called CSR, I think, as I said, is distracting us. It could be misleading us, because the genuine responsibility that we need much more of from corporations, both public and private, in the whole world, is judging the impact that they're having on water resources, on land resources, on forest resources, on the condition of communities, on the health of people by the products they sell or don't sell to communities and the processes that they use. So that is it. That's the 100% of their revenue. The way they produce the revenue is what has the impact. You take a certain percentage of revenue as a profit and take 2% of that, and with that 2% of the profit you try to make up for the damage caused. As you can be a company which is producing, just an example, hard drugs, and you can make a lot of profit selling hard drugs because people want to use hard drugs. And then you say, I'm going to open a hospital to rehabilitate drug addicts. Now, is that good? No.
Sir, how revolutionary is the new companies bill which has been passed by Lok Sabha?
Most of it is necessary. It's good, because the old act was so old and it had to be tuned up to present times. Also, the process of tuning it up was a nice, good consultative process. So in those respects, the matters that it is addressing construction of the board, independent directors, and several other matters are modern issues and is addressing those issues. Now, in the way it's implemented is where the rubber is going to meet the road, and where either it will move very smoothly or there will be more friction actually in good corporate management. So we should now concentrate on the methods of applying what is now in the new Corporate Act.
So talking about the Indian economy, is it possible that the Indian growth might just fall below 6%?
See, under what conditions will it fall below? Under what conditions will it not fall below? That's what you should ask, and that is the practical question. Otherwise, it's like throwing a dice and saying, "Abhi 6 aayega ke 4 aayega." I want to be saying I want to be in control of producing the 6. So what do we need to do to produce the higher growth? So that is it, you see. So the prediction question is not an interesting question unless you say, and which I'll answer, that if you do this, you're likely to get higher growth. If you don't do this, you will get low growth. So what is that? That is far better implementation. Far better implementation, so that we produce more results from the monies that we have in projects and infrastructure, so that in implementation you would require to get, issues among stakeholders sorted out more quickly, so that there are agreements and then decisions which can be followed through. So the means of getting collaboration and coordination between ministries and between stakeholders, we have to improve on those. If we improve on them and improve implementation, then the chances that we're going to get higher growth are higher. And if you don't do this, I can tell you'll get lower growth. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much,
Welcome.
sir. That was the Member Planning Commission talking exclusively to Doordarshan News. I'm Sidhant Sibal with camera person Ganeshi Lal.
And with that, we're going to take another break here, but do stay with us.